What's up, everyone? It's KisaragiZan here, bringing you another account showcase for my Genshin Impact account. We're currently in 5.4. We just updated this week on the 11th. Today's on the 14th. Given that this patch is, yeah, these two followed by Farina and Risley. I'm fair to say this is going to be a dead patch, so I just figured I'd get this over with and do the showcase now rather than waiting till the end of the patch. Since I don't, well, obviously I'm not going to be rolling on these banners, so I'm just going to get that out of the way. There will be timestamps below for anyone that wants to skip ahead to specific parts within the characters. For those that are not familiar how I do this, how I do my account showcases, you can honestly refer back to my previous account showcases, but long story short, I use these as a chance to go through my account, talk about my characters, the builds, teams I typically play them with, how do I enjoy them, what I like about them, what I don't like about them, and then also what I'm doing with the game as far as like my investment, what am I using my resin on, how am I tackling endgame content, and future characters and stuff. So I'm gonna just say that this NATLAN has been a massive upgrade to the account, from what you could have probably seen from the Abyss videos as of late. So I will say this will probably be on the longer end in terms of video length, but I will try to speed through things as quickly as I can. So I'm going to go through all the new characters first. Well, new characters and major changes, like major updates to characters, then the level 90s, level 80s, and then level 70s, and then just end it off with like the finishing touch talk. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. Alright, so first order of business, we gotta talk about the Raiden Shogun. For those of you that may not know, Raiden Shogun is my favorite character in all of Genshin. She's also the most invested character on my account. I've had her ever since, about as long as since I've started Genshin. As a reminder, I started Genshin during Child's first rerun, so like a couple of patches later, Raiden would have came out because it was just before Inazuma. As far as the build is concerned, I've been tinkering around with some pieces, some upgrades here and there, but nothing really major. The biggest change to her, I would say, is me getting her C6. How this came about was she ran early in NATLAN, and she was featured with Chevreuse. And my Chevreuse at the time was C0, so I said, this is a rare opportunity to mess around and find out. I just kept rolling and rolling and rolling. By the time my Raiden hit C6, my Chevreuse was at C5. I did not get my C6 Chevreuse until the monthly reset happened, and I got my 5 standard fates, and then I rolled in one of the 4-stars with, funnily enough, Chevreuse. So, my C6 Chevreuse. So, but as far as the C6 Raiden is concerned, I didn't lose a single 50-50 for any of these constellations, because I started from C3, and so I won 3 50-50s back to back. I'm gonna be real though, this is mainly for a Medal of Honor type thing. I wouldn't consider these as like major improvements. Like the biggest improvement you're ever gonna get from your Raiden is C2 and then C3. C4, most of her teams right now don't have any attack scaling characters. And then C5 is whatever. C6 is niche, I would say. So if you're ever in the business of just like wondering how to improve your Raiden, if you're looking to vertical investment, C3 or C2 and then just call it a day. And then talents and all that. Like I said, she's been like the most invested character on my account. The only thing I can say is that for my first ever C6 character, and I do mean by character because I didn't get a C6 standard character until after Raiden was C6. I am kind of glad that my first C6 was actually like my favorite character. So, yeah. But with that being said, now we can talk about some of the newer characters, such as Neuvillette. Neuvillette, he came out during Fontaine. I wanted him back then, but I just couldn't afford to get him because I was waiting for Farina. When he re-ran again, I tried to go for him, failed the 50-50, which got me my Arlecchino. And then he rolled again during NATLAN. I failed the 50 again, and then I just said, you know what, screw it, I just want this character. So I just went and got him. Stat-wise, he is looking about 85 crit damage, 221 crit rate. 85 crit rate, 221, 212 crit damage. Jesus, numbers. Overall, he's pretty good, I would say. Prototype Amber. I tried to go for his weapon, but I got the other weapon. We're not going to talk about that one. As far as the stats are concerned, as far as the stats and the pieces are concerned, I had these pieces way before I got this character. From farming Golden Troop for so long, and I didn't want to burn them because I knew I would want Neuvillette because these are some really good pieces for him, regardless. So, but I did want him just to slap these pieces on him. Otherwise, if I didn't get him, I was just gonna burn them. So I was like, okay, but I would have kept this, obviously. But I don't have any other character that wants Marichus, and I don't think I'm gonna get another character that wants Marichus. So it's just like, okay. And I don't think any of them wants HP either, so. C0 wasn't gonna try and bother with C1 with Mavuika literally immediately after Neuvillette. Talents, crown the normal. I do want to crown the burst because that thing hits pretty hard, but skill, I'll just leave it. Overall, I do enjoy Neuvillette. Some teams I play him in, obviously with Farina, but as far as the other two teammates, I alternate between Xilonen, Citlali, and Kazuha, whichever one fits the bill. You may have seen it when I was playing with him in some of the Abyss clears that I was doing. So, he is pretty fun as far as being able to turn my brain off and just do big damage and just chill. I wouldn't say he's as fun as like some of the other characters that are just like more rotation heavy and more rotation heavy would be a good way to describe it, like Child, for instance. But as far as just being able to just, I want to go in and clear something really quick and just not have to think Neuvillette's the guy. So, yeah, he's cool. He's fun. As far as the build, I think he is done, in all honesty. I don't want to farm Marichus again, and I don't want to go back for Golden Troop either. Even though they are a strong box, but I have other strong box targets that I want to focus on, so, yeah. But I do see what people mean. He is a very strong character, so yeah, he's pretty cool. He's pretty chill. Next up, Mavuika, the Pyro Archon. I will say she is another really strong character. Stat-wise, she is looking about 91 crit rate, 236 crit damage. I know she gets some crit damage when she does when she activates her skill with her signature, but I'm not gonna bother calculating that. But yes, I did get her best in slot. I actually just got done finishing her build, or at least to a point where I can consider the build is done. Mainly just crit, EM, and attack percent is what I'm looking for. I try to stay away from energy recharge as much as I can. And this is honestly the final piece that helped me get to the point where she's considered done. So C0, I'm not gonna bother digging in through for constellations for her. And then double crown because I do use her as an off-fielder from time to time, and her off-field damage is actually pretty good. But obviously the burst had to be crowned because that thing is going to hit like a huge truck. Overall, she's pretty good. She's pretty fun. Obviously, she's ridiculously strong. I only really play her as her I only mainly play her in her hyper carry team with Citlali, Xilonen, and Bennett. Other teams I play her in are Chlorine Overload. I have messed around with Child International by swapping out Shangling for Mavuika. It's fun, but I'm not too sold on it, to be honest, but we'll see. But as much as I do like Mavuika, between my other options, I prefer Arlecchino a little bit more. Arlecchino has the aesthetic for me. Not to say that she does have, Mavuika doesn't have the aesthetics. Like, she is cool. Like as a character, she is legitimately cool. But I do like Arlecchino a little bit more. I do like Arlecchino's playstyle a little bit more. So, like, if you had to force me to pick and choose which one I like the most, it would honestly just be Arlecchino. But Mavuika is a pretty cool second, so I'm content with that. I think the only thing I would want from her is just have more teammates, and then she'll be fine. Otherwise, just playing the same teams with, like, Bennett, Xilonen, Citlali. Mainly just taking Bennett is just, like, my kind of, like, oh, this is kind of rough, but it is what it is. Speaking of Arlecchino, yeah, I've had her since her first run. Build, I don't think her build has changed from the last account review. Same best of slot, artifacts are pretty much still the same. The biggest change I would say is I ended up getting a C1 because, similar story to the Chevros incident, I wanted a Lan Yan before I got my free copy from Lanternite because I wanted her at C2, and I got a C1 Arlecchino, and I was just like, oh, okay, so, I'm probably going to stay like that for a hot minute, so, as far as talents, I may get this crown even though I don't even use this, but it does look kind of cool, so, yeah. Like I said, I want to go back to that domain fragment of Harmonic Whimsy and try and get better pieces, but that's a work in progress because I had to focus on building up the NATLAN cast, Lan Yan, Neuvillette, and all that just got in the way, so I was like, okay, fun. But yeah, Arlecchino is basically done, but if I had to go back to a domain, it would be her domain, both for her and Chlorine, so. Xilonen. This character, I did not think I was going to get her because, well, winning 3 50-50s back-to-back was kind of just like, oh, I'm sure I'm going to fail at some point. Funnily enough, it was between her and Shiori, and halfway through, I just said, I'll just get Xilonen because she seems a bit better for my account. Build-wise, not much to say because she just mainly wants defense and energy. She's on 5 just to be able to give energy to the entire team. But yeah, her pieces are literally just crit rate, defense, energy, some combination of that. And obviously on Scrollless in the City because that set is kind of busted. No constellations yet. I do know that the C2 is kind of busted though, so. And then these two are crowned, both for the healing and I don't even know what this one does. This one does the healing. I think this one did increase the elemental resistance spread, but I don't know if that started off as 30 from the start, so. But yeah, both are crown cells. It's like, okay, cool, whatever. Xilonen just goes on a variety of teams. She's basically another Kazuha, except she can heal, so any team that I would play Farina on, I would just slap her in there and she would be fine, good to go. But yeah, I don't regret this character. This character is insanely good, so. If you're looking into building your account optimally, I would say just get Xilonen and you'll be fine, Citlali. Yeah, this character is pretty insane if you have the elements Pyro and Hydro. Stat-wise, she is insane. Like, her pieces, considering she only wants EM and energy, this build is actually pretty insane. I did get her best in slot, not by choice, because I was going to go for Mavuika's, and then this popped up first, so I said, okay, cool, nice. But I don't regret it. It's a pretty strong weapon. That was one of the better weapon banners, I would say. Like I said before, she mainly just wants energy and EM, crits here and there if you want her to do consistent damage, but it's not really necessary. But yeah, everything is just energy and EM for her. No constellations, because usual stuff. These are both leveled. Overall, she is actually really good. I've been using her a lot more than Zhongli. Any team that has like Pyro or Hydro as a carry, I just slap her in there. Like, I've used her with Arlecchino, I've used her with Neuvillette, I've used her with, obviously she's used it with Mavuika. I've used her with Hutao. I have messed around with her and Child by replacing Kazuha. I've heard that in through the grapevine, but not too sold on that either. But she's also a really good character, so I'm fine with that. Of course, if you couldn't get Citlali, the next best shielder is Lan Yan, which everyone could have gotten for free. Character is pretty insane, especially if you get C2, which unfortunately for me, I don't have. Build line, I mean, the only thing she's looking for is just attack, and that's it. Thrilling Tales is her best supportive weapon, but not too sold on it for some teams because of rotation issues, but that's just a team issue. But yeah, as for build, she just wants VV, she just wants attack percent, and as you can see, there's a lot of attack. She does have some EM scaling in her kit, I think, but it's not a massive EM scaling, so it's whatever. But yeah, you kind of just do want C2 if you're playing like Clarin, Xilonen, Arlecchino, anyone that does normal attacks. And then the only thing you got to level up is this, because this is where her shield comes from. But yeah, a 4-star having a stronger shield than Zhongli is kind of cracked. Who would have ever thought? That can also shred resistances. Who would have ever thought? Ororon. He's been pretty good. Especially at C0. I know he gets cracked at C6, but at C0, he's actually pretty good. I would say like an official contender, in all honesty. His build is surprisingly high because I keep getting good pieces from Cinder City. He is holding my other Elegy, because the only other character that would be holding it are either Venti or Sarah. But Cinder City, he's just built like a regular DPS, I would say. Just attack, crit, and elemental damage goblet, that type of stuff. C0, I mainly use him in my Clarin Overload team, in all honesty. But he's a better fit in that team than Official. I have tried him out in other Electro-based teams like Yai Aggravate, just because he holds Cinder City. But it's almost like a not much has changed type feel, but I feel like he does put in his work though. So I have played him in Taser, mainly Clarin Taser, and definitely just like shreds through enemies. So that's gonna wrap it up for the new characters. Obviously, I did get, there was like a big improvement, or like a lot of new characters between last account overview and now, but not much is really said. So we're gonna move on to the level 90s. Alright, so for our level 90 characters, which will mostly consist of main DPSs or broken sub DPSs and maybe the occasional broken support. For the first one we have is Navia. I occasionally will play Navia from time to time. I'm not the biggest fan of her playstyle all like that, mainly because in AoE she's just kind of eh. She hasn't had a massive improvement, I don't think, since the last time, and she hasn't gotten a rerun, so this is still her weapon. She is still quote-unquote done, but that's only because I don't want to keep farming in her domain to try and get either onset of this but better, or an onset of this but the exact same. So it's just I think the thing with Navia is that I enjoy her teams more than Navia herself, but I do admit that she does hit pretty hard and all that stuff, so she's okay for me personally, but I don't know. Definitely wouldn't mind to invest in her a little bit more and get her best in slot, but that's something later on down the line. Ito. I play him a little less than Navia, and that's mainly because as much as I like Ito, I don't like his team. I did want to get Shiori to help improve his team though, so maybe that may make a difference, but I'm sort of on the leaning towards doubt. But either way, in terms of build, nothing has changed. She's still rocking the same pieces, same stat line, same everything. Like I said, this character was done a long time ago. Like I don't think I'm gonna get any better than this, so it is what it is. Kazuha, he's still the same as ever. The only small improvement that I did was while farming up pieces for Lan Yan, I managed to get some better pieces for his flower and feather. I think everything else is pretty much the same, so not much to really say. I am considering C2 during his next run. I am considering it, so but that's mainly it. So yeah. Eula, if I had made this video prior to the Abyss clear, like I had intended to, I would have said, oh, I haven't used Eula in a long time. Which, aside from that Abyss player, yeah, that is true. I barely ever use Eula, if at all. I only just decided to use it on a whim because I was just like, oh, who's someone I haven't used in a while? And the Abyss was good enough for her to clear anyway, so I was like, okay, cool. As far as builds, she's basically done. She has her best in slot. Still looking for a piece like this for onset, or a piece like this but better. C1, double crown on skill, on all in normal. But like I said before, I don't really use this character all like that. Like, she's been done for a long time as well. But, yeah, there's just been so many other characters that I've been occupying my time that I just haven't had any time to just go back and play her. And then also no time to really like the only time I like mess with her is if I get like a really cracked flower to see if it would be like better for her. Next is Ganyu. Ganyu, I want to say, has had an improvement in terms of the build from the last account showcase. I've mainly just pushed her to being a melt-focused DPS. But otherwise, I don't use Ganyu, if at all. But I did use her just to test her out with like Dehya and Nahida with like Burn Melt, but I was supposed to test her out with Mavuika as well, but I just haven't gotten around to it, so it's, I still don't like the bow and arrow gameplay personally, so that's, it is what it is, but yeah, she is improved, I would say, sure. Ayaka, yeah, same thing with Eula. If I hadn't used the Abyss, if I hadn't ran her in the Abyss, I would have said I don't ever use Ayaka anymore. She's still rocking the exact same pieces as before. C0, I don't even think I even want the C2 anymore. Double crown, all that good stuff. I think honestly it's just the nature where Cryo is right now that just prevents me from wanting to use them. That and also just better characters out there right now, so I'm just like, But whenever the Abyss is good enough for them, I'm just like, okay, I'll just play them here and there. Or if the content is good enough for them. I don't want to say disinterested. Clorin. By far, the character I've had the most fun with. If not, I would say the most fun character currently to me right now. I think she still has the same exact build as before. She still has her best in slot. Still has the same exact pieces. C0, I was going to consider C1, but I was just like, nah, I don't want to do that. The teams I play her in are Overload, mainly with Mavuika, Cerberus, Ororon. I have played her with in a teaser team with Kazuha or Xilonen. Farina and Ororon. Aggravate, I still play from time to time, but I just, I've mainly just been playing her and, like, the other two teams just because they just feel a lot more fluid and fun. But yeah, she legitimately has, like, a lot of team options. Like you can't go wrong with this character. Like, easily by far the most fun character in the game for me personally. Like there are still others that I think are just as fun, but like as far as like being able to just pick up and clear, not have to worry about like elemental checks or like mechanic checks, because she did break through Tenebria, so I was just like, okay, I mean, shoot. So, you know, very powerful character. Sino, unfortunately, I cannot say the same. I have not used this character in God knows how long. I can't even remember the last time I used him. He still has like a really cracked out build, good build and everything. Staff of Scarlet Sands, Fluffy Sundering, C0, Double Crown. Like, if I were to use him, it would just be in Hyper Bloom, but I don't know. It's just, ever since Xilonen came out, I just slowly like stepped away from him for a little bit, so it's like whatever. Yae Miko, kind of the same story, but Yae Miko actually has a pretty good aggravate team, and I also like the fact that it is very quick swappy, so that you don't have to worry about getting hit and all that stuff. But yeah, I don't really use her that much anymore either, but I think if I had a choice, I would use her more than Sino, if I'm being real. But, not to say I don't like Sino, but, I mean, Yae Miko I've had for a long time too, so I'm like, oh yeah, she's cool. And she's kind of a lazy gamer. Hytham, another pretty strong DPS that I use pretty frequently. He's still pretty strong, if I have to say so. As far as the build is concerned, I did pull this, and I do want to put this on him because this is like a fairly strict upgrade. However, I need an onset of this, a gilded version of this. Mainly with just the energy, EM, and crit, and then he'll be fine. But, yeah. Yeah, I don't know when that's gonna come about, but it is what it is. Nahida, I want to say Nahida did get an improvement, really just with more crit stats, in all honesty. That way she could just do better damage when she's on field. But yeah, her pieces are more focused on crit. This is the main saving grace of her entire build, because this is the only deep wood circlet, crit circlet that actually has the opposite crit stat and EM. C0, usual stuff. But I use them interchangeably. Like if I want to just like if I don't feel like being lazy, I'll pull out Hytham. If I am very lazy, I'll just use Nahida double Hydro Hyper Moon and just go with that. But you know, Dendros hasn't really been doing too hot in recent times, but it definitely still clear. So Farina's still a goated support. Her build is really insane. I think this might be different from the last time, but she has good energy as far as I'm concerned. The only concern is if she's solo Hydro in a team that doesn't have a battery, which is very, very rare. But yeah, I say it's very rare, but it's also like those teams probably aren't that good. So, oh well. But yeah, more energy, more damage, all that good stuff. So she's chill. She's basically done. Ayato. I find it funny how like most of the characters that I got from NATLAN are like overall big improvements for his teams, but he just is like unchanged in terms of power level. Like his build is cracked, like top 1% of Akasha and everything, but like I put him with Citlali, I put him with Xilonen, I put him with Mavuika, I put him with like Lan Yan, Ororon. And it's just he biggest bias remorse I've ever had. If it wasn't for the fact that he was in Azuma, I would probably just contact MiHoYo and be like, hey, can you delete this character off my account, please? Thank you. But it is what it is. Yelan, on the other hand, she's still pretty good. I still use her pretty frequently. I've been using her less, but that's mainly because Mavuika doesn't really want her, and then like I have been playing more Mel Arlecchino. And then like the only major teams I play her with are like, aside from Arlecchino, would be Hu Tao, Raiden with Marina, and really that's it. Oh, and Yoimiya, but like she's pretty okay. She's pretty chill. Like, definitely still a very good character. Child's still the same. Well, kinda, sorta. He's still rocking the same team. The only thing that's different is that he got new sands, so he went from 2-piece Heart of Depth to 2-piece Wanderer Troop, so now he's gonna be vaping more. But like, again, he's basically just done, so it's just like, whatever. Yoimiya, same story. She's essentially done. Same build, same pieces. I think the last time I used her was when Lan Yan came out, and I was just like, oh, I want to see how Lan Yan will work with her. It was pretty okay, but it comes back to the issue that I was mentioning with Lan Yan about TTDS, in which like you can have rotation issues with mainly with Yoimiya, so I'm like, but when it works, it works. Like, if you just care about the shielding, then it's just like, okay, cool. But like, if you care about the resistance set, then you probably want to play Xilonen. I mean, not Xilonen. Either Xilonen or Citlali, one of the two. Hu Tao, I still play with Double Hydro, Farina, and Yelan with Lan Yan. She's still rocking the same build, as far as I'm concerned. No Xilonen because you don't need it for plunge, but yeah, she's not gonna get changed. If anything, I would probably just get this outfit for her, but that'll be way down the line. But yeah, that pretty much covers it for all my level 90 characters. Now we're gonna go to level 80 characters. So for our level 80 characters, these are mainly the support cast, or characters that are sub DPS, or characters that I just stopped building. I'm actually just gonna go through level 80s and 70s all at once, so I'm gonna just kind of speed through this. Zhongli, basically the same. The other weapon that I got when I was going for Neuvillette's weapon was this, so I only have it leveled because of the ran out of weapon in inventory space, so I was like, okay, sure, whatever. I don't think I'm ever gonna take him off this, in all honesty, so I was like, whatever. But yeah, he's still rocking the same build as always. Xianyan, essentially the same. However, I did get her some better pieces with more energy and more attack percent. Just from the process of farming strong boxing pieces for Lan Yan. So she did get more energy, which was a big issue that she was having, specifically with Hu Tao plunge, because she wasn't getting enough energy. So now she's pretty chill. Yeah, that's pretty much it for that. Venti, still the same as ever. Unfortunate what happened to this character, but yeah, I think he's actually pretty good in this Abyss. I was playing him a little bit, but he's okay. He's normally with LG, but he's still rocking the same VV pieces, C0. I'm not gonna level anything else, but yeah, it is what it is. If it wasn't Archon, he probably wouldn't even be on my account. That's just what it is. It is what it is. Jean. The last time I used Jean was before Xilonen came out, with Raiden, Yelan, Farina for the Raiden Double Hydro setup. Pretty cracked build and everything, but I'm gonna be real. Ever since Xilonen came out, I don't use Jean at all. Jean is my second C6 5-star character ever, so yeah, that's kind of cool. But yeah, I barely use this character. Shanha, still the same build. I think the only thing that really changes with Shenhe is when I find like an attack percent goblet that has like crit rate, flat attack, and energy, and then I just roll it, and then just like, you know, we just wait and see. Everything else about her is still pretty much the same. Only really play with Ayaka, that's about it. Baiju, I think, I can't remember the last improvement that he got, but I have not used him in a while, but I mainly use him with Sino, which already says how much I use him, so. I have tried using him on his own with like, Chlorine, but it's not really the same with Nahida, unfortunately, so. Kokomi, so, fun fact, I would have actually used Kokomi a lot more outside of Ayaka Freeze and everything, but, ever since I got a certain Hydro Sovereign, I just had no reason to use Kokomi for Mono Hydro again. So I was just like, okay, cool, whatever. But yeah, Kokomi's okay. I think it's honestly just a product of me having too many Hydro characters on my account, but it is what it is. Diluc, still the same. Probably not gonna build because I don't have Wolf's Gravestone, and this is the only improvement, the only change, because when I lost my 50-50 to Neuvillette, it was to Diluc once again. Rosario. Same build as always. I only really use her with Eula. I have tried using her as a second cryo for Citlali, but I quickly learned that like Citlali could just apply the cryo all on her own, or keep the cryo application up on her own. So Rosario is just like unneeded at that point. Kuki, only really use her with Alhaithon. She's still holding key. I think from the last time this wasn't leveled up, so I did fully level this up. I honestly can't really notice a difference other than just like maybe what, more EM, but like the only thing I would do is probably switch this to flop, but I'm far too lazy for that. Official, the main thing is that she did get an improvement in terms of like crit stats and everything, but I am still looking for a better attack stance, because she's still on EM stance for the most part, but I do want to put her on attack stance because just so that she can do a varied amount of damage. C6 obviously, all that good stuff. Between her and Ororon, I don't know which is better. In some situations she's better, in other situations Ororon's a lot better because Scrollless Intercity is kind of busted. But Beto, I'm still waiting for an Electro character that wants to use her as like a sub DPS. But and just for context, right? 142 energy, but there's still no character that can like funnel her correctly. I tried with Clarin. Sino could do it, but it's not really Sino's best team. Kind of makes you, you know, recall the fact that Raiden was supposed to be her supposed partner, but yeah. Otherwise, still the same build as always, C6. I'm not gonna say double crown, but yeah. Hopefully another character comes out and they're able to like funnel her and use her. Xingqiu, same build as always. I think the only thing that may be different is that like I move his pieces around a lot, but it's more or less within the same ballpark, like within like the 60 crit damage, 150 to 160, maybe 170 crit damage. I meant to say crit rate for the first part, but still Sacrificial Sword, Emblem, C6, almost double crowned. Bennett, same as always, Skyward Blade, Noblesse, C6. I should level this up a little bit more, but we'll see. Nothing really has changed. Honestly, I do think that we need a second Bennett, because this is kind of ridiculous that we don't have a second Bennett at this point. Xiangling is still pretty good. I'm still not getting R5 on this. Still the same pieces as always. C6, almost level crown, all that good stuff. As far as level 70s is concerned, Tainari, I have him built because I was playing him as like a dual carry with Chlorine. Just as like for funsies, but I don't think I'm gonna level him at any given point because of well, I have all hyphen. But the team is pretty fun, so I'm like, you know. Mona, I have not used him forever. I cannot think of the last time I used this character. Other than Imaginarium. Imaginarium is probably the only time I'm forced to use her. But Filling Tails has a lot of energy. C1. Pretty decent talents. Dahlia is the character that I got from the standard selector. I wanted to get her just because I didn't have her and I just wanted to get the inevitability out of the way. I was trying her with like Ganyu and seeing how Burn Melt was working. It was okay, but definitely not the greatest, I would say. As far as like sustaining options and everything, she's like pretty okay. Two-piece emblem because energy problems, right? And then everything else is just whatever I can throw on her. Mainly HP and energy. That's mainly it. A lot of my pieces already covered that niche, so it's like whatever. C0 because she's the first one. And then, again, the only thing I cared about was the skill, so that was the one thing I leveled up. Yeah, I have no idea what they were thinking with this character. But, hey, you live and you learn. Sucrose, I'm still not the biggest fan of Sucrose. Especially after Lan Yan came out, I'm just like, why even bother? But I do acknowledge that, like, being able to give EM is a pretty good ability. So I'm like, okay, so whatever. I only have her leveled just for Imaginarium because the concept of only having Kazuha and Venti leveled up is not a good idea when I could also have like another version of Kazuha and Venti with just like some decent artifacts. So C6 as always. Talents is I don't really think she cares about talents. It is what it is. Kujo Sarah. I don't even use her with Raiden anymore. Like, I think the only time I would want to use her is with Chlorine, but then like that's a team that I have to learn on my own. On weapon, she mainly does hold LG, but she's holding on to this for the time being. Still the same build as always. Usual stuff, C6. All that good stuff. Chevreuse. Yeah, the character that made me go to C6 Raiden and not even finish C6 so far. Still like her and everything. She's really cool. She's really strong. I switched her to Noblesse because in Chlorine teams I don't have a Noblesse user. And then like, I think it really is just only Chlorine teams. If I play her with Raiden, I normally play Bennett with her. So I'm just like, oh, well, Bennett's always been Noblesse user, so. But I am considering Song of Days Past, or at least looking into it, because I hear that's pretty good, but we'll see. C6. Finally done. Was a trouble. It took a bit. I don't even think she cares about talents, if I'm being real. And last but not least is Toma. I haven't used Toma in a long time. I was using him with like Chlorine, and in some fun Burgeon setups, but I haven't used them in a long time. So, he is more so shield oriented, but he does have like a lot of EM in his kit. So yeah, that is the thing. C6. Yeah, and then the energy is also pretty good. The only other characters I would level up is potentially Yunjin. Goro's already leveled, and then honestly Kirara. That's probably the only other character I would level up. Everyone else I just don't even play. But even then, Kirara is just like is a big maybe. But yeah, that's pretty much it as far as my characters are concerned. As far as how I play the game, I mean, I guess we can start no further than the Spiral Abyss itself. For anyone that's watching the video after my Spiral Abyss clear, obviously I have 36 started, but I have 36 starred every single Spiral Abyss, and it's been going like that for as long as I've been playing the game. My main party team as of right now is Clarin, Yalan, Xilonen, and Lan Yan. Mainly because I want to get her friendship maxed out. But yeah, I mean, Clarin could just be switched out with anyone at this point, so it's whatever. Not this one. As far as Imagineering Theater is concerned, I think it's about to reset in in a week or so. But needless to say, I have completed every Imagineering Theater. This is probably like the only quote-unquote non-completed one, but I just got the 9 things, so I was like, okay, cool, whatever. I don't know what I was doing for this one. Probably because of the freaking Wii Nut was taking too much time, because I see that's the thing. But it is what it is. But yeah, I've beaten everything in Imagineering Theater. I still don't like Imagineering Theater, because I still believe that the HP restriction, not HP restriction, the character restriction should either be lives and then incentivize which elements you want to bring, or restricted by elements but then increase the lives by like at least 1. But that's just me talking about that. This little thing, I've done it for both Kazuha and Ganyu. I have Jean's unlocked, but she's not level 90. But I do have both of them done. So there's that. And as you can see, you know, I have Bennett over there, I have Mavuika over there, Arlecchino over there, and Lan Yan over there. So it did, yeah, mono pyro for the final team. Pretty good. As far as when I'm using my resin on nowadays, I just got done finishing with Codex, so honestly, resin is up in the air as far as whether I want to finish crowning or finishing up farming artifacts for other builds. Because I really don't have any artifacts I want to go farm other than like Fragment for Clarin and Arlecchino. Other than that, future characters I'm looking to get, I still want to get Chiori, and I still want to get Wanderer, but it's a matter of like, you know, when they show up. Because if they show up at a bad time, that's obviously going to be like, well, I can't get you right now, so it is what it is. But I know that Skirk is potentially coming out, so I definitely want her from or at least what appears to be Skirk, wink wink nudge nudge, because of the trailer of the live stream when they showed like the silhouettes, and one of them looked like Skirk. So I definitely, like, if she is coming out, then I definitely am just like she'll be like the character that I go all in for, kind of like what I did with Clarin from last patch. I didn't find any character in Sumeru. I guess you can say Sino, because Sino was the biggest want that I wanted, but I didn't really pull that much in Sumeru. Oh, I kind of did, but not really. But yeah, so like Skirk will be like the final pull. I wouldn't mind Emily, but I wanted Kanich, but I was just like after playing him a little bit, I was like, I'm good. Like, not to say that he's bad, but like the style just kind of doesn't really fit what I would have expected from him, so I'm like, okay, whatever. His burst though was cool, but everything else I'm just like, it's alright, it's whatever. Which is weird, because like he's a direct reference to Mega Man and everything, and I love Mega Man, but I'm like, I'm kind of good. Plus, I like I'll hype him a little bit more, so it's like, it is what it is. But I would have only gotten Emily if it was for Kanich. Well, if not for Kanich, then I don't know who else I would have gotten her for. So, but she is cool, and I know that you can just play like burning teams, like Burning Arlecchino, or like any type of burning setup, but at that point, I'm just like, I mean, at that point, I could just get Shiori to some extent. Though, I guess that's not an accurate example, but I'd much rather get Shiori just because, well, A, Inazuma character, and B, she helps Ito, so there's that going for her. Whereas, like, Emily's a good character, but I have nowhere to put her in, so it's like, whatever. As far as everything else is concerned, there's not really much that I'm looking forward to, with this patch. Like, everything was just gotten way out of the way very early on. So I guess we're entering like rerun period, and then like and like seeing like all the other characters, and the other characters don't really interest me all like that. I'm hearing interesting things about Yan-san, so I'm like, oh, okay, maybe, but and then obviously I do want more constellations on Lan Yan, so you know. But yeah, that's pretty much gonna be it for this account showcase. Again, I did want to try to keep it short, but you know, new characters, gonna be a lot more talking, so. But hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, do let me know in the comments below. I will answer any and all comments that are left in the bottom of the video. So without out of the way, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next account review. Laters.